So during this time, I don't know about you, but I found I'm so easily distracted. When I try to pray, I try to read scripture, I'm trying to stay centered, and there's chaos everywhere around. So I want to remind us of a book that those of us at Westside were already looking at for Lent. Invite everyone at University Presbyterian to discover this. It's a book called The Common Rule: Habits of Purpose in an Age of Distraction. And maybe you don't need another book right now. So let me share with you a couple of practices that Justin Whitmel early in this book provides, spiritual practices that have been soul-saving for me the last few weeks. He divides his practices into soul habits, spiritual habits of embrace, and spiritual habits of resistance. So for example, one spiritual habit of resistance is scripture before phone. Isn't that fantastic? Scripture before phone. On the mornings, when I go to scripture before phone, it's noticeable. Another spiritual habit of embrace that he has is an hour of conversation with a friend. And I want to adjust that for our current time. At that hour of connection conversation through Zoom or phone, you make an agreement at the very beginning. You won't talk about the facts that you've heard or the ideas and things that you've had around the virus. Talk about what God's doing in you. Talk about what's surfacing. Make a human connection that isn't about the facts and what you've heard. There's one other spiritual practice I want to suggest. Many people have already suggested we can embrace Sabbath during this time. But the other practice that I want to suggest, and I need to remind myself of it, here's why I need to remind myself: curate media. Whitmel talks about how the media that we watch defines the stories we're living. I don't know about you. What I like to do if I want to shut everything else is I turn on something on the TV and I do a puzzle. It's my favorite thing. The problem is we have so much time to have videos, stories, media going all the time, that his practice is to limit it to 4 hours a week. That may seem impossible to you right now. So go before the Lord and ask, how much should I be watching? Who should I be listening to? What are shows that are going to be edifying and soul restoring? Personally, I've started listening to books on tape again. Nobody younger than me even calls them that, while I do puzzles, instead of taking in so much of the media. So I want to encourage you in these things. Scripture before phone. Curate media. An hour of conversation with a friend that isn't facts and figures. And embracing Sabbath in this time. And may the Lord guard and keep us until we're face to face again.